Hello, I'm Phil Mammoth, and in this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to set up your own region here on Adreans-World so you can be a landowner yourself. So, let's move right along and see how it goes. Okay, first thing we need to do is set up a few things on the computer before we download the region server. We need a folder to download it to, so we'll go to My Documents, and we'll create a new folder. And we'll call it My Region. Then we'll open that up, and we'll need a text document to save our information in. So we'll create a new text document, and we'll rename that to REGION, Region Info. And we'll open that. Now we need the IP address of the computer. So we'll open up the internet browser and we'll go to speedtest.net. And this is the quickest, easiest way to get your IP address, because it shows right over here down in the left hand corner, and as soon as the page fully loads you can copy it. Copy IP. We'll just click on it. It says copied. Now we can close that window and paste it right there. That is my IP. Next, we need the IP address of the computer you're going to use the region server information on, which that would be the computer we are working on. So we'd want to go to Control Panel, Networking Connections, it will be Local Area Connection, and right here it says the IP address. And it won't let us copy it. We should be able to open that. Okay. Support. It still won't let me copy it. Anyways. We do it this way. Computer IP, which would be 192.168.1.133. And we save that so we don't lose it. Now we can close that. We can close that and that. Next we need to know the location of the sim that we're going to put up. So we need to go to Adreans-World's home page. Yes, I know it's popping up there, but I just wanted to type it all out so that there's no mistakes. And then we can scroll down here on the home page, over on the left side where it says Coordinate Map. That's where we can get our locations from. And it's best to take the zoom over here and scroll it down to 1 to get a view of the world. And that shows all the places that are taken and what's free. So we'll pick a spot over here. We'll get our notepad, find a free spot, and we will put 9689 comma 9945, and that is our COR coordinate. I probably spelled it wrong, but I'm not worried about that. Save. Now we can go back to the home page. Scroll down on the left side in downloads. We'll look for the Adreans-World 7.4 region server zip, or whatever the current version is at the time, as this video will be around for a while. We want to save the file. We're going to save it in My Regions. We just go to My Documents, My Region, and Save. Okay, now that the file has been saved, we can close this out. Open up the folder that we saved it in, My Region, and we'll extract it. And click Finish. And there it is, downloaded. I prefer to go to Details in the View, as it puts everything in alphabetical order. And we're going to go to scroll down, and we're going to look for the Opensim.ini, which is right here. Oops. I prefer to open it up with WordPad, as it makes it easier to read. Now there's just a few simple things we need to do here in the INI folder. We're going to scroll down till we come to Estates. I'm going to go to where it says Default Estate Name. And we'll uncomment that, and we'll put in an estate name. You can choose your own estate. For this tutorial, I'm just going to put my estate. And where it says default estate owner name, we uncomment that and put in your avatar's name. And now we'll scroll down till we come to network. We just want to check this is the HTTP listener port, which is running on port 9000, which is good for a single SIM, and this number you would change if you were running multiple simulators, but this is what we want to use right now. So this is all set, and we can close it and save it. Now we'll scroll back up till we come to the Opensim 32-bit Launcher EXE, provided you're running on 32-bit Windows. Oop, cancel. We want to send that to the desktop and create a shortcut. We'll minimize that in this, and here's our shortcut. And now we can rename that to My Region, or whatever name you wish to do. Now before we launch this, we need to make some changes to your router. So we'll need to log into the router. Once you open up your web browser, and most routers can be found by typing in 192.168.1.1, and that should bring up the authentication window. You type in the password, username and password. And that brings up the router windows. Now some routers would be 192.168.0.1 to get into, but this is the most common number on routers. We're using a Linksys router here, which supports on the gaming port forwarding and port range forwarding. I'm going to go to Authentications or Applications and Gaming in the router. And the first window to come up is the single port forwarding, which we're not going to use because we're going to run an Opensim. So we really want to use the port range forwarding, which some routers do not support port range, and you'll have to use the single port, which that only allows you to run one simulator, one region per simulator. Now, right here we're going to put in the port we're going to forward, which is port 9000. And where this is port range, I'm going to forward it to port 9004, which that allows to run 4 regions in a single simulator with the port range forwarding. Then the IP address of the computer you are using, which is the computer IP, which is 192.168.1.113 or 133, which we'll put 133 there, and we'll check there for enable, and then save. And now that the changes have been saved, continue. We can close that out. And now we're ready to run the region server. You can uncheck this and let it run. And now it's going to ask some questions, like the region name, which will go with my region. Enter. And this is the region UUID, and you do not have to fill this in. You just accept the default one that's there. And now for the location, which we got earlier in our little WordPad or Notepad, which I have closed. And we want to take the coordinate numbers right there and put them in as 9689, comma is important, 9945. And I already made a mistake because we'll be way off, because that was 96 there. Okay, and make sure that is correct. And enter. Now for the internal IP address, we want to use the 0.0.0.0 and hit enter. Now for the internal port, which we are using port 9000, enter. Allow alternate ports. Just accept the default. You don't have to type anything there, and hit enter. Now it wants the external IP address, which this is the external IP address right here that we got earlier from the web page. And we'll want to copy that. Click on the little window right there. Edit, paste. Paste it right in there. Hit enter. And off it goes. And there, now the region is up and running. So all we need to do now is log into Adreans-World. And we're off and running. And it is dark. And we will turn the lights on. And now that we're logged in and our region's running, we'll pull up the map. We'll type in the search, my region. And there it comes up on the map. And we'll scroll out and see if it's in the right place here. Because it says we are way over here. Way over. Roll out a little bit more. There we go. There's the other regions. But there's our region here that we just put up, and we will see if we can tell it. If we did everything correctly, we should be able to teleport right to it with no problems. Connecting is good. Arriving. That's a beautiful sign. And here we are. Well, I hope this tutorial was helpful to you and you had no problem setting up your region. If you do have any questions, you can come find me or Adreans-World and ask all the questions you want. Thank you. I'm Phil Mammoth, the resident DJ here at Adreans-World, and this has been another Adreans-World tutorial.